Shalom, 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 peace, welcome. It's your brother Math IQAhmath. First name IQ is all the same. DSTM is the movement. MOTC, Messengers of the Covenant, is the congregation. Prayerfully, everybody's well, man. Yes, starting a little earlier today, uh, as the schedule foresaw that we needed to go live a little earlier today. So, for those that were waiting for another hour, you're just gonna have to catch up. You're just gonna have to catch up, catch the replay, do whatever you need to do. Prayerfully, everybody's well in the Shabbat, man. If you haven't already, make sure that you hit that like button. Wipe your feet when you come on in here. Act like you've got some manners. Act like you was raised right. You know what time it is, man. You come to somebody's house, man. You see the floor is clean. You smell the aroma of the food. And when I mean food, we're talking about the bread of the word of the Most High. You smell it, man. You come on in, man. Show some respect. Wipe the feet. Come on in. It's all good, right? Hopefully, if you have not, you've done that. Looks like a couple of y'all are lacking. Come on now. Don't do your brother like that. Don't do your brother like that. All right. If I'm coming in loud and clear, everything's good. Everything's solid. Throw a 7 in the chat for me. Shalom and salute to the fam in the house, man. Shalak, Ashar, the house of Byron, Kohath, Jason, the house of Bayan, Hashemai. Shalom to all of y'all. Blessings on the Sabbath to everyone. Um, yeah, we're gonna get into it, man, a little early, but nonetheless, um, got some time constraints today, but we're gonna get right. We're gonna get right. All right. Looks like I'm coming in clean, coming in good. All praises. Rosemary, shalom, shalom, shalom. The water, appreciate you wiping your feet. It's all good. All right, well, let's get to it. I know I don't know what it is. Been having issues with my internet signal. Hopefully, everything comes through solid. I'll try to monitor the chat if I can. If any problems arise, hit me, let me know, and I'll try to see what I can do to rectify it. But if everything's coming in loud and clear and streaming clear, then we're getting right to it. All right. Let me share my screen and let's ride out. And as y'all can see, the title, Bidenomics working like a charm. Another white lie. I always sit back and I wonder, and I didn't have to wonder anymore once I came into the truth. Let me share this right quick because it's still even more indicative of really understanding who the so-called white man is. Why when they lie, it's called a quote unquote white lie. Why is it when they get caught with something, they get caught red-handed? You understand what I'm saying? There's always a noun that precedes them when they do something or that classifies them, right? White trash. I mean, there's no black trash. There's no Latino trash. I mean, we're already at the bottom of the totem pole. There is no going any lower for us. But see, when it's them, they have to be classified differently. Oh, that's the white trash. That's the trailer parks. That's the rednecks. Oh, why is it always associated with that color? Red-handed. Isn't that interesting? You know, and just getting back to the basics, we know Genesis 25, verse 25, being the birth of the so-called Caucasian nation, forefather Esau, whose name was changed to Edom, right? 25, the first came out red all over like a hairy garment, and they called his name Esau, meaning rough and hairy, wasted away. Revelation 12:9 tells us about, uh, first of all, hold up. Let's get right here, 12 and 3. And there appeared another wonder in heaven, and behold, a great what? Red dragon, having 7 heads, 10 horns, 7 crowns upon his head. And this red dragon was cast out, that old serpent called the what? Devil and Satan, which primarily does what? What's his principal job? To deceive the whole world. He was cast out into the earth, and his angels were cast out with him. So this red, and it ain't no damn Game of Thrones red dragon running around wreaking havoc, speaking lies into everybody in the nation's ears. We all know this. But as the saying goes, the devil is in the details. So when I say Bidenomics is working like a charm, another white lie, that clearly should let everybody know we're talking about the so-called white man lying again. Because if you remember when Slow Biden, yeah, I'm not done with that old crypt keeper. He may have been, he may have, ran from the fade. He may have ran off and said, I'm out the race. I'm done. Let up off me, IQ. I'm done. No. Remember when he bowed out of the presidential election race? He said his economy is booming. Bidenomics, he's created more jobs than any ever president ever, and all this other madness, right? But interestingly enough, many of y'all may have already known, but all of that was a lie. And they had to come clean. So we're going to discuss that, man, and really correlate that with the end of America. We always are chronicling and trying to get a better grasp on, what's going to be the end, how we going to, measure the time, as the scriptures say. 2 Ezra 9 and 1. He answered me then and said, measure thou the time diligently in itself, and when thou seest part of the signs past, which I have told thee before, then thou shalt understand that it is the very same time wherein the highest will begin to visit the world which he made. Our measurement, how do we, calculate how far we've gone, how close we are, is by the word of the Most High, by the prophecies, right? Let me get this other one. That's right. By the word of the Most High is how we, make judgment on that. You understand? That's how we create measurement. We understand through what? The prophecies. Okay. Ecclesiastes 39 and 1 says, but he that giveth his mind to the law of the Most High and is occupied in the meditation thereof will seek out the wisdom of all the ancient and be occupied in prophecy. So his primary job, if he's given his mind to the law of a man of the Lord, declares himself a teacher, a leader, a woman of the Lord. Listen, if you are abiding by the law of the Most High, there's a job that comes along with that. It says there's an occupation, occupied. So first we have to give our mind over to the law of the Most High. This is why our beloved brethren and sisters that's caught up in these denominational paradigms known as religions, i.e. Christianity, Catholicism, Islam, so forth and so on. This is why they're caught in this particular paradigm, because, and it can't come to the realization of real truth, is because the mind of their mind is not locked in on the law of the Most High. You have to be locked into the laws of the Most High, being governed by a disciplined system of moral laws, civil laws, dietary laws, ceremonial laws, sacrificial laws. These are all things that were given to the children of the Lord, the chosen people of the Most High, first. And then we will be able to become a wise and understanding people amongst all the nations. That was what made us envious of all the nations, right? But we have to give our mind to the law of the Most High. Meanwhile, the churches, they're telling us, no, don't put your mind on the law. That's done away with. That's too hard. That's impossible. Forget about it. You're under the grace of Christ. Plead the blood. That law, oh, heck no. We're not going to be held bound by the law. Okay, that's the reason why the world is as it is. He that giveth the mind to the law of the Most High and is occupied in the meditation thereof will seek out the wisdom of the ancient and be occupied in prophecy. So, primarily, man, if we're going to try to measure the time and understand what's going on, we're going to seek out the wisdom of the ancient, meaning we're going to go back and analyze the words of our prophets, right? We'll look into different aspects of history and be occupied in prophecy. Any brother out there that's teaching, man, you should be trying to exercise more of your understanding regarding prophecy, man. Matching up, marrying these scriptures with, world events, current events, historical events, prophetic events, and trying to really understand the measurement of how close we are to this end, to the foresaid end. That isn't the only thing, of course. We got to teach the laws. We got to make sure that repentance is key, because isn't that what the gospel was about, the good news? Right? Then Yahweh said, for repent ye, for the kingdom of heaven is at hand. So repentance comes with the teaching of the laws. But once we get our spirits, minds, and bodies in alignment with the laws of the Most High, now we got more to look out for, which is what? The prophecies. Because it all surrounds around us, man. Every aspect of life in this earth is waiting on the children of Israel. That's a fact. The nations are waiting. I brought out an article months back, probably years ago, a year or so ago. The president of Turkey said all the nations hate America, but they just tolerate it because they have to right now. You understand what I'm saying? The scriptures tell us that when the wicked are in authority, the people mourn, but when the righteous are in authority, the people rejoice. Let's get that real quick. In Proverbs. So, once we get an understanding that everybody is waiting on us, Proverbs 29:2, it's a fact. Look, the nations are waiting. The animals are waiting. This is why you're seeing the animals, man. They're leaving up out of their homes and invading. You see them, swimming. The bears swimming in Edomite pools. The raccoons is out. The possums is out. The snakes is out. You go to the zoos, man. The damn animals is held captive. They're all depressed and jacked up. You go on these safaris, man. They out here attacking everybody. They had a whole video series back in the 90s. For those I remember, when animals attack. Yeah, when Israel was in order, there wasn't no animals attacking unless it was called upon, like Elijah did with the the mother bear and killed, what was it, 30-something kids for teasing them. See, the nations is waiting for us. The animals is waiting. The earth, let alone, look at the earth, man. The earth isn't even rendering up the proper elements, chemicals, not chemicals, the nutrients in the soils. The earth is even struggling to render forth right and good fruit. Everything's seedless. Everything's all jacked up. The fruits and everything was way bigger than they was back in the day. Way smaller than they were since back in the day. I forgot what scripture it is, but there's a scripture in, I think it's the second Ezra. It might be in 9. But it talks about, man, how men had to carry grapes, clusters of grapes on poles because they were so big by twos. But this is really what it boils down to. When the righteous are in authority, the people rejoice. Right now, we're seeing nothing but protests, war, pestilence, and plague all throughout the earth. Poverty. People ain't rejoicing right now. People ain't living it up. Everybody, I brought out the facts before. 70% of Americans is on a prescription drug. Why is everybody on drugs? And that's just prescription drugs. We ain't talking about the illegals. We're not talking about the fentanyl. We're not talking about the heroin. We're not talking about the weed. We're not talking about meth and everything else that people is on. Come on. Bump that number up to like 95%. Everybody's looking for an escapism. Why? Because of the depression, mental health, everything is up. Everybody's damn near crazy at this point. Why? Because the righteous aren't in authority. There ain't no rejoicing going on. It's protests from here to India to Pakistan to damn Ukraine. All, people is Paris, Africa, many countries in Africa. They're over there protesting. Uproars of the people in the world. We've covered that numerous times. They're not in authority. We're not in authority. So the people are not rejoicing. But when the wicked bear rule, the people mourn. That's what we're seeing right now. Going into it in a little bit, the head of the Federal Reserve, Jerome Powell, he said about a year and some change ago, get prepared for economic pain. So when they're running around talking about everything is good, hey, enjoy yourself. The money's flowing. What inflation? Remember, Slow Biden and them was saying there is no inflation. But meanwhile, $100 worth of groceries is getting you a bag and a half. When 3, 4, 5 years ago, maybe more than that, it might have got you 2.5. I mean, who are they fooling? They're manipulating the oil now. Oh, now we're seeing gas down in California in particular. We're seeing gas in the low fours. Some places at Sam's Club and Costco, you might get it under $4. Oh, happy days are here again. Oh, why? Because it's an election. They're playing games out here, y'all. You know it. I know it. But let's get right to it. Let's get right to it. Let me darken it up some so it's a little bit better. I want to go black. Let's just go green. Okay, so we're still waiting. We're still waiting on this eventual attack, bombing, so forth and so on from Hezbollah, Iran, Hamas. We're waiting for some get back, right? Talked about it last week. Some of the opinions that I've seen and I tend to agree with is, Iran is waiting for the right time to initiate what eventually is going to be the real spark of World War III. Right now, we're seeing the skirmishes, we're seeing the proxy wars that's leading up to World War III. But they're preparing because they know once they, let loose, it's going to lead to the big one, right? It's going to lead to the big one. So, unleashing hell, Hezbollah ready to launch a huge October 7th style attack on Israel after 10 years of plotting and building miles of tunnels. So this, compounds what I was talking about. They're saying they've been plotting on this for 10 years. So imagine if you've got an investment that you've been sitting back waiting on for 10 years, you're waiting to hit big. If they've been plotting for 10 years for this particular attack, they're waiting for it to be something big, right? Hezbollah is ready to launch a huge attack on Israel after a decade of evil plotting and building a 7 miles long tunnel network. Experts have warned. Analysts monitoring years of military activity in southern Lebanon warned that October 7th could soon look like a picnic if and when the Lebanese terrorists unleash hell. So, this is what they're saying. The Lord only knows when it's really going to go down, right? But whatever they're planning and plotting, they're saying what we saw last October 7th is going to be nothing compared to what they're really going to do. So if you ask me, bring it on, because it's only going to furtherly increase the faith of the children of Israel to know that the end is near or nearing, becoming even closer, because, Yahushua said, these are the beginnings of sorrows, right? Wars, rumors of wars, famine, pestilence, plague, right? Nation rising against nation. It's a cold beginning. That's going to bring a lot of pain, hell, torment, destruction, famine, you name it. But it's going to increase the faith of Israel. It's going to wake a lot of these damn zombie knucklehead blacks and Hispanics up to say, hey, you know what? Those guys that we used to take lightly and clown around and think it was a joke, or those guys that I used to like watch for entertainment on the internet, and or those guys who I knew they was onto something, but I just wasn't ready to fully commit. Those is going to turn full blown zealots because it's going to be closer to the sealing of the elect and the 144,000 when this thing goes down. You know, the scripture said, man, the Jews require a sign. So always prophetically, we're looking for signs, we're looking for wonders. That's what makes us believe. The Jews are see it to believe it types. So, you know, our people don't move until it hits the fan. So when all hell breaks loose, that's when everybody gonna be scrambling. You know, I talked about that last week with 9/11, the Kanye, Kyrie situation, everything else. You know, that's when Jace get to running and shaking and moving when they start seeing things right in front of their face. Until then, all they can see in front of their face is a bottle of Hennessy, uh, you know, the fentanyl pills, the latest, you know, goofy TikTok trends, all of the above. You understand what I'm saying? So let's continue. As a result of that, look, American Airlines stuns by halting all Israel flights until April 2025. So not only American Airlines, but there's a number of different airlines who are shutting down flights going to Israel and going to Beirut. Why are they foreseeing danger? Why are they saying, hey, we don't want nobody over there? Matter of fact, we're trying to get out. People are trying to get out of there. So they're restricting flights even going there because they're expecting something to go down within the next 6 months, probably sooner. Uh, look, we already see here. Second Ezra 15:17, a man shall desire to go into a city and shall not be able. So we're talking about restrictive travel, restrictions on where you're able to go, where you're able to dwell, where you're able to visit. That's already being shown. So within the last month, nearly all major Western and international airlines, hello? Like I said, it's not just American. United, Delta, Alaska Airline, wherever. Within the last month, nearly all major Western and international airlines have announced suspensions and cancellations of their service to both Tel Aviv and Beirut. You don't do that unless you're fearful that there's going to be war, that something's going to crack off. When you're telling people you can't come here, you know, for the GMO small hats, you know, they're giving provisions to where they're all allowed to go to the Holy Land at least one time. Our land. They all give free tickets and plane tickets to get over there so they can make their pilgrimage. They're getting ready to shut that down. And best believe, and you know what? And they got busted using that as an escape route for the pedophiles. They've been finding a lot of pedophiles. I'm gonna call them those because if you say it right, YouTube gets to, you know, touching stuff. Pedos, whole network of them utilizing that plane ticket to get up out of here to go over there. Go look it up. Look up about the GMO small hat communities and them getting uh, free flights and trips back to Israel if they've never been. And then there's also uh, guys that like to, you know, mess with younger little ones who are utilizing that to escape and running out, and they're allowed to do it. Let's continue on. So, within the last month, nearly all major Western and international airlines have announced suspensions and cancellations of their service to both Tel Aviv and Beirut. This also, as foreign nationals have scrambled to get out of both countries, given ongoing fears of the outbreak of a bigger regional war involving Iran and Hezbollah attacking Israel. Uh, yeah, Khan, there you go. Naquab. Exactly. The pedo pipeline, that's a fact. That they were doing that and continue to do it. You know, as we talk about pipelines, man, has anybody heard anything was happening with them underground tunnels that they had going on in New York, or did that get swept under the rug? They were finding bodily fluids, blood, and all kind of stuff going on down there. No investigations. We're not gonna find out what was going on down there. I mean, this is the foolishness that goes on, man. It's the cover-ups that happen. Continuing on, it says, while American Airlines was among the many carriers announcing temporary pauses in service, it was just issued a surprising lengthy extension to this suspension in flights. On Friday, the Fort Worth-based company announced it doesn't plan to resume flights to Tel Aviv until April of 2025. So, of course, they're going to say open it up, it's Passover time. We need them to come back. But if all hell's breaking loose and some bombs is dropping and bullets is flying and grenades is getting thrown and tanks is moving and drones is getting utilized, ain't nobody going over there. Nobody. That'll get extended to indefinite. How's help coming from America? Oh, the Navy could sideline 17 support ships due to manpower issues. Uh-oh. So if anybody's worried or wondering about the cracks in the armor of America, oh yeah, it's here. So not only does America have financial problems, their armies now are becoming even weaker. All going back into really understanding. Hey, I made a mention before. I'm sure some of y'all have already looked into it. Hopefully, the rest of y'all who neglected to go look at the history of Rome and the downfall of Rome, because this is the predecessor. I mean, this is the America's predecessor is Rome. Following the same blueprint, the whole nine. Everybody should know that by now. This is the little horn that came up out of the last horn, as spoken of in Revelation 17. This is the offspring of the fourth beast, which is Rome. This is why we see some of the same issues going on. Overpopulation, open borders, migrant, so-called migrant invasions, which was turned into the barbarians, was overthrew Rome. Extensive military or overextended military, economic woes, inflation, political infighting. All of these things we're seeing happen to them is happening right now. And what could be the only conclusion? The same thing. If the Most High says the things that were done aforetime were for our learning, imagine that. So obviously we learn from the past. So America is getting ready to possibly sideline 17 support ships from the Navy because they're lacking manpower. Yeah, they can't get, see, now that just hit me in the spirit too. This could lead to even more pressing needs for them to issue a draft, forcing your sons and daughters, my sons and daughters, into this foolishness, trying to at least pull them in because they're lacking manpower. Military Sea Lift Command has drafted a plan to remove the crews from 17 Navy support ships due to lack of qualified mariners to operate the vessels across the Navy. The MSC, quote, Fourth Generation Reset, identified 2 Lewis and Clark replenishment ships, 1 fleet oiler, a dozen Spearhead-class expeditionary fast transports, and 2 forward deployed Navy expeditionary sea bases that could enter an, quote, extended maintenance period and have their crews retasked to other ships in the fleet. 3 people familiar with the plan told USNI News Thursday. Based on the crew requirements on the platform sideline, all the ships could be reduced to civilian mariner demand by MSC by as many as 700 billets. Imagine that. See, America's in trouble. America's in trouble. Biden approved a secret nuclear strategy, refocusing on the Chinese threat. So before he left, he wanted to make sure that he got everybody ramped up and prepared for nuclear war with Russia and China and North Korea. That's still on the table. Of course, we talk about it all. We talk about it all. Right now, there's a heavy influence on, Ukraine done turn the tables. Now they're aggressors over there in Russia. Everybody's waiting with bated breath to see what happens with Israel, Hamas, Hezbollah. And America saying, we still got a nuclear threat on our hands with Russia, China, and North Korea. Slow Biden said, I got a authorized strategy for when warfare jumps off. In a classified document approved in March, the president ordered U.S. forces to prepare for possible coordinated nuclear confrontations with Russia, China, and North Korea. What have we been saying all this time? It's going to be a coordinated attack. We've seen North Korea pledge their allegiance to Russia. China pledging their allegiance to Whyte, Putin, right? So that's clear. Now, Slow Biden came out and said, yeah, they're going to coordinate attacks on us. We need to get prepared. But under Slow Biden, he said, hey, America's never been at war under him. There's world peace. I mean, what? As he's preparing for a nuclear war. President Biden, I'll give him that, approved in March a highly classified nuclear strategic plan for the United States that, for the first time, reorients America's deterrent strategy to focus on China's rapid expansion in its nuclear arsenal. Did Slow Biden, did he tell us about this being the first time under any presidential administration that strategies need to be focused on China regarding nuclear war? No, under his watch, though, nuclear war is happening. That's why, we know if Kamala Harris, Hyena Harris, and Tampon Tim, if they win, it's going to be much more of the same. So should we join the party and root for Kamala so we can get some of these prophecies more unfolding? Or they're still going to unfold with Agent Orange, the chump, because he's stiff neck, hard head. He ain't afraid to press the panic button and let out some veiled threats. If people don't comply to him. So I don't know. Either way, it's kind of foregone and written on the walls, i.e., Daniel and King Nebuchadnezzar. President Biden approved. Oh, we read that already. The shift comes as the Pentagon believes China's stockpiles will rival the size and diversity of the United States and Russia's over the next decade. The White House never announced that Mr. Biden had approved the revised strategy called the Nuclear Employment Guidance, which also newly seeks to prepare the United States for possible coordinated nuclear challenges from China, Russia, and North Korea. So for the first time, the United States is preparing for possible coordinated nuclear attacks coming from three different sides. First time they're talking about this, right? The document, updated every 4 years or so, is so highly classified that there is no electronic copies, only a small number of hard copies distributed to a few national security officials and Pentagon commanders. Well, apparently it's not that highly classified because it's leaking out a little bit, like Sleepy Joe's diaper. Let's move on. NATO air base in Germany raises security level due to a potential threat. Last week, we covered an article where they had a attack on the water supply. They told all the troops over there, don't drink the water. So Germany is under a specific targeted attack. They're not saying who's behind it, but obviously they're NATO affiliated. So if they come under any particular attack under the Article 5 agreement, the rest of NATO got to join in. So there's another spark in the what do you call it? The tender of World War III, right? Germany, they're raising security levels for potential threats. They already got hit with the water supplies. So let's see what happens with that. This is measuring the time. Ukraine attacks Moscow in one of the largest ever drone attacks on the Russian capital. So they're pushing forward. Here they go again. Now all of a sudden the tables are turned. Ukraine is out here smashing on Russia. Russia's not doing nothing back. They're getting embarrassed. If you leave it to all the headlines, who knows what's going on over there? But if this is the case, I believe that Putin is sitting back waiting for one of the largest scale wars, be it Iran and Israel, or he's waiting to see what happens with this election before he makes his next move because he's not sure where or how the repercussions will come from a Hyena Harris campaign or from uh, Agent Orange. We don't. He doesn't know which way he's going to go. So I think he's sitting back waiting. And he takes a couple on the chin. They just gonna sit back and wait. They like, we only got a couple more months. We can back them down. We can, do what we need to do to get by. But once it's understood, come 2025, they may go full blown ballistic on Ukraine. Who knows? Let's continue on. Before we go there, I want to share this with y'all. Now we're talking about the economy. We're going to shift gears to the economy now. This is the white lie that Slow Biden's campaign had to just come out and readily admit. Some of y'all may have seen this, some of y'all didn't, right? The U.S. added 818,000 fewer jobs than previously thought from March of 2023 to March 2024, the government says. What does this mean? That means the job data that they used from March of 2023 to March of 2024, they lied. They cooked the books. They were saying that there was almost 820,000 jobs that got created. 820,000 people is out here working, got new jobs. Oh, their dollar is matching up with inflation. What inflation? Everybody's working. What? Meanwhile, that's why, y'all that's been watching DSM, we looking at layoff after layoff, company closure after company closure, small businesses out of here, commercial buildings emptied. And they're saying, what do you mean? Everybody's working. We've created all of these jobs. They was lying. Almost 820,000 jobs. They just kept adding them every year. Slow Biden said it himself. He's reduced the job workforce. There's more people working than ever. And what? And then the jobs that they did create was part-time service industry jobs that in this economy, can't nobody survive unless you're working 2 or 3 of them. Look, prior data for overestimated. Remember, all the times that they kept popping up talking about, oh, we miscalculated. We found another 2 billion that we can send to Ukraine. Oh, we found another 6 billion over here. We're going to send to Ukraine. California, $24 billion supposed to go to the homeless. Oh, it's lost. We don't know what happened to it. These cats, man, is out here robbing people hand over fist and then come back with lies and say, oh, it was an overestimation, miscalculation. Oh, sorry. Oh, really? Prior data for overestimating the recent labor market recovery, the government said Wednesday a potential worrisome sign as slowing job growth shakes confidence in the economy. Again, Jerome Powell said it damn near a year and a half ago. Get ready for more economic pain. Economic pain is coming, layoffs, etc. And the Biden campaign people, they talking about, no, the labor market is booming. There's no reason why can't nobody find a job out there. Huh? They just got through. I think I'm gonna get there later. I don't want to jump the gun. But look, a potential worrisome sign is slowing job growth shakes confidence in the economy, though some experts suggest the downward revisions aren't as bad as they may seem on the surface. Tell that to the people who still can't find a job. Tell that to the unemployment benefits that got completely exhausted. Tell that to the people who are forecasting by 2030 there'll be no Social Security. Retirement funds, 401ks, wasted, gone. You know? Oh, it's not that bad. As Kamala Harris, she's running around talking about, we know it's hard on families because it's hard because you need money. And money buys groceries, and groceries are in the grocery stores. And you see the price is more than the money you have in your pocket. So we know that it's hard. Tell us something we don't know, Hyena. And when was the last time you went to the grocery store? How about that? When's the last time you went out and you bought, some whole grain wheat bread or something like that? When's the last time you got out? She has no idea what's in the damn grocery store. Did y'all see that little photo op that they did walking into the damn look like a little convenience store, like a gas station. Like that's just a regular thing for them. Oh, we're gonna pop up and it'll pull over. I need to get me some Doritos. Did y'all see that foolishness? If you didn't, there is a video of her and Tampon Tim. They're going into her husband, Tampon Tim. I mean, you can see already the Secret Service agents in there at the Slurpee machines. They looking all around, acting like they're customers. You know what? I hate to describe it and can't, y'all don't think I'm what's that dude's name? Tim I can't. Let me see if I can find it. Here it goes right here. You see this? The store is clear. I'm not gonna play the video, but you just imagine Tim Walsh. There you go. The water, y'all. The store is completely shut down, closed. They're acting like they just came into the store, just on the whim. Look at it. She got her chucks on. I'm just a regular old, just like you and me. Her and her GMO small hat husband, Uncle Tampon Tim over here. She's looking like she's never seen any of this stuff before in her life, but she's trying to relate to everybody as if, hey, I'm a regular person. Secret Service guys all in the back, blocking off the store. They want to make it look like, oh, they are going to give us the video. Okay, watch this.
I just story.
Look at it. You see this long pole, the boom mic? This is set up like a MFer, man. And she loves some Doritos.
I just story. Ah, Dougie, there they are. Yeah, thank you.
I know you want those.
I know you want those. She did the same thing in Chicago. Hey, look, you seen that all she does is repeat the same things over and over again. I know Donald Trump's tight, we have to overcome the past to overcome which shall be. Whatever she said. This is ridiculous. Now, loves her some Dorito. I mean, the Secret Service all over the damn place, acting like she just happened to pop into the store. Woman of the people.
Dorito. Huh? Ah, Dougie, there they are. Yeah, thank you.
I know you want the.
And if anybody knows that she, come on. If you've ever been to the store and that's your favorite, you know what the damn chip aisle is. She lost his hell in there talking about Doritos. Oh, Dougie, you found them for me. B, if you ever been to the damn store in the last 20 years, you know where to find some damn chips if that was your favorite. She ain't been in no damn store.
You see corn nuts over there, Tim? Oh, yeah, that's
the
it.
There you go.
Oh yeah, give me the large bag. Don't give me the little bag. Give me the big one. Oh, and I want some corn nuts too. I'm sure you do.
Corn nuts over there.
Unreal. This is the foolishness that goes on, right? And this is her. Mind you, she's VP. She's with Slow Biden. She's signing off on these numbers, and they're getting ready to extend this for another 4 years. If you leave it to the populist energy and the news headlines that's going on right now, all of the AI bots that's programmed to pump up all of the headlines regarding her and the prostitute media, as Gerald Celente calls them, prostitutes, they're all getting ready to, sell their soul in both butt cheeks for some favor with the Harris campaign. So look, they lied about almost 820,000 jobs that they say they created, right? Now it says, and then they're talking about, it's not as bad as it sounds. Come on, man. The U.S. added 818,000 fewer jobs than previously estimated. We read that, right? According to the Labor Bureau of Statistics, which released the data about 30 minutes after the scheduled 10 a.m. Eastern release. That brings the total unemployment growth, not including farm jobs, for the 12-month period from 2.9 million to about 2.1 million, knocking average monthly growth during that period from about 242,000 to about 174,000. Well, let me remind you about this guy. Y'all remember this guy? This guy is one of the chief financial advisors under the Biden campaign. He's asked to explain how the economy works and debt.
Can't go bankrupt because we can print. The U.S. government can't go bankrupt because we can print our own.
The chair of the Council of Economic Advisors, president of Slow Biden, Jared Bernstein. You know, with that last name, you know where his descendants come from. Yeah, that's a GMO last name. That's artificial. It's not 100% organic. That's tampered with. You dig what I'm saying? The chair of the Council of Economic Advisors, he sits at the chair. He's dead.
The U.S. government can't go bankrupt because we can print our own money.
It obviously begs the question, why?
Again, America doesn't print the money, man. The Federal Reserve prints the money, and they get loans from the Federal Reserve, which is a privatized bank owned by Esau, Edomite elites. So he's lying about that. He don't even know how that works.
Why exactly are we borrowing in a currency that we print ourselves? I'm waiting for someone.
She just cut him. Why are we borrowing from money that we print? If you're printing it, why would you borrow it from yourself? That doesn't make any sense.
To stand up and say, why do we borrow our own currency in the first place?
Like you said, they print the dollar. So why does the government even borrow?
Well, again, some of this stuff gets, some of the language that some of the language and concepts are just confusing. I mean,
You know, him, Kamala Harris, Slow Biden. I mean, they're a match made in heaven, man. They all talk the same way. They all are caught up. They all don't understand what the hell is going on. You know. Let me pause that and jump to a scripture real quick. Let me get that in a Sirach 10. Sirach 10, 1 and 2. It says, a wise judge will instruct his people, and the government of a prudent man is well ordered. Well, clearly, this government is not led by a prudent man, prudent leadership at all. This place is out of order. Verse 2, as the judge of the people is himself, so are his officers. And what manner of man the ruler of the city is, such are all they that dwell therein. So when you're hearing her, as Naquab is rightfully called, Kamala Harris, the queen of word salad, when you see an incoherent, slow Biden, sloppy Joe, and now when you see Mr. Bernstein completely lost, that only compounds that scripture that we just read. They're all, birds of a feather, man. They don't know what the hell's going on.
Place.
Like you said, they print the dollar. So why does the government even borrow?
well, again,
Yeah, exactly, Koa. They stall. They're trying to formulate the lie in their head before they, let the slithering tongue speak and the lips get to flapping.
some of this stuff gets, some of the language that some of the language and concepts are just confusing. I mean, the government definitely prints money, and it definitely lends that money, which is why the government definitely prints money, and then it lends that money by selling bonds. Is that what they do?
Good Lord. Let that sink in. Is that what they do? They definitely print money and they lend it out. Hold on.
They sell bonds. Yeah, they sell bonds, right? Because they sell bonds and people buy the bonds and lend them the money. Yeah. So a lot of times, at least to my ear with MMT, the language and the concepts can be kind of unnecessarily confusing, but there is no question that the government prints money and then it uses that money to I guess I can't really talk. I don't get it. I don't know what they're talking about. Like, because it's like the government clearly prints money. It does it all the time, and it clearly borrows. Otherwise, we wouldn't be having this debt and deficit conversation. So I don't think there's anything confusing there.
He just said he's confused. He doesn't get it. Then he doubled back and said he doesn't think there's anything confusing. This is the works of the damn snake, man. He's speaking out of both sides of his mouth, forked tongue. He's confused. Then he doubles back and says, you can't be confused because this is how it works. We're definitely it's like, yeah, are you asking or are you telling me? It's like you said, Shalak, he is having a conversation with himself. He's insane. Insane. So when they don't know what's going on, they fudge the numbers and just say, hey, jobs are up. Add a few zeros. And it's all good. Add a few zeros and we're straight. We control the media. We control the people. It's fine. They'll believe whatever we tell them. Well, hey, the problem with that is, especially for our people, Proverbs 21 and 16, and this also goes along with Revelation 11 about our dead bodies lying in the streets of the great city uh, in the spirit. Proverbs 21:16 says, "The man that wandereth out of the way of understanding shall remain in the congregation of the dead." If you don't understand and don't know what's going on, if you don't understand, number one, for us as Israel, knowing who we are, keeping of the laws, the commandments, prophecies, etc., we'll be wandering in the congregation of the dead. There's literally, we like to joke about it and talk about, Israel being zombies, but that's real in the spirit, man. Our people are out there, the walking dead. That's where they get the whole concept of the damn movie from, or the TV show. Mindless, infected, dumbed down populations of people who are only concerned with eating, consuming, destroying, and moving in, following in packs. Where the next person says, "Oh, it's food over here. Oh, it's drink over here. Oh, it's fun over here. Follow me." And the mindless population just goes along with it. The man that walketh out of the way of understanding shall remain in the congregation of the dead. This is why it's important for us to, stay in tune with what's going on and occupy ourselves in the realms of knowledge. Proverbs 13:20 says, "He that walketh with wise men shall be wise, but a companion of fools shall be destroyed." So our people that's running out here trying to be companions with the system, trying to be companions with voting and, jumping on the come on now Harris bandwagon and the feel good train that she's got everybody trying to ride on right now, that's all based upon lies and foolishness. For the black folks who say, "Oh, I left the Democrat plantation, I'm going over there with new massa. I'm turning Republican. I'm riding with the chump." You're going to be destroyed right along with them. There is no salvation with them. There's no salvation in this government. There's no salvation in voting in this political system that's been established and built up upon oppression, lies, murder, colonization, falsehoods, and you name it. Sodomite principles, idolatry. This system is going to save you? What? Remain in the wisdom of the world, the wisdom of the word, not the world. Slack it. Speaking of that, Isaiah 30 tells us the same thing. "Woe to the rebellious children, that saith Yahweh, that take counsel, but not of me, and that cover with the covering, but not with my spirit, that they may add sin to sin." That's what our people want to do. They're looking for the next, which president is going to give me my next stimulus. Kamala Harris and Tim Walz are running around talking about, "Oh, our campaign is going to be about freedom. Our campaign is going." Well, hold on. If that's the case, you're basically sounding as if you're campaigning against the current administration that you're in. She's the vice president still. So if you're saying your campaign is going to be based upon freedom, that means that your campaign right now, or your administration right now, is based upon oppression. Doesn't that make sense? I mean, they're acting as if there's like the Republicans or some independent is the president, and they've created this whole utopia of oppression and hell and everything else. And they're like, "We're the freedom fighters. We're going to liberate everybody. We're going to make sure the households is taken care of. We're going to make sure that we make sure that everybody is able to afford groceries and gas, and you can have freedom over your body." And well, who's controlling right now? They are. It's doublespeak. It's complete madness. But our people get caught up into this foolishness, talking about a right or left, who's going to liberate. There ain't none. Our people are just looking to continually add more sin to sin, how they can cover themselves with the American flag, not the law, statutes, and commandments of the Most High, so that they can go down to Egypt and ask for more, stimulus and more handouts and more help and more this and more that, and none of that is coming. Newsflash, at all. They ain't. Hold, I'm gonna show y'all something in a second. Proverbs, Salaki, Sirach, 21 and 8, right? It says, "He that buildeth his house with other men's money is like one that gathereth himself stones for the tomb of his burial." So that clip right there that we heard from Mr. Bernstein, where he clearly said that America is borrowing money to sustain itself. It just said, "He that buildeth his house with other men's money," meaning you're borrowing, you're establishing something based upon debt, is like one that gathereth himself stones for the tomb of his burial. So eventually, the more you accumulate debt, the more you burying yourself economically, and you either file bankruptcy, you're out of here. The first thing he said was America can't file bankruptcy. So what's that mean? America's just gonna have to be self-imploded and destroyed. Let's put this in real perspective, right? United States national debt, they're at $35 trillion and counting, right? Now, if that was broken down per person in the United States of a population of 343 million people, that means you, me, your son, daughter, all have $102,000 worth of debt. How do you have a plan in getting out of that debt? Do you think that you'll be able to economically, get out of that particular debt? If they were to divide that $35 trillion, I'm going to say it again, by individual, that means each one of us would have $102,000, almost 100. Look, 102,509. Let's just round it up. $103,000 worth of debt. Do you foresee a way that you're gonna get up out of it? You think you can get up? Okay, look. Per household, just imagine you just inherited $266,000 worth of debt. There ain't an economic policy that can get you out of it. There ain't no money printing that can get you out of it. There's not an investment or a quick flip or a crypto or anything that's going to get you out of it. This is why it's all bogus with them running around talking about economic policies and what they're going to do to get America back on track. And they ain't no getting back on track. It's over. To put it in those reality perspectives, imagine you got $103,000 worth of debt. Can you get out of it? You figure you got a way out? Hell no. You're going to be quickly like, where's the bankruptcy? How can I file chapter 13, chapter 7 ASAP? I need to be relieved of this. This goes back into Genesis 47. With the famine in Joseph. Let me just read this real quick. Let me just look at the scenario. And Jacob blessed Pharaoh and went out from before Pharaoh. And Joseph placed his father and his brethren and gave them a possession in the land of Egypt, in the best of the land, in the land of Ramesses, as Pharaoh had commanded. So the famine is getting ready to kick in. Joseph has been placed as co-heir or the second in command under Pharaoh. He takes his people and places them in Goshen, where we were able to survive and thrive in a land that wasn't destitute of resources or whatnot, right? This is why when the Most High tells us, my servants are going to eat, my servants shall drink, when all hell breaks loose, man, the Most High is going to find a way and make things comfortable for us to survive these things that's going on. Now, he said his servants. He just say, all the blacks are Hispanic. Y'all going to be taking, no. The servants of the Lord. The dedicated elect that's going to say, you know what, come hell or high water, man, I'm relying on the Most High. I'm keeping these laws and these commandments. I'm sacrificing all I can to serve my nation, my people, my power under the leadership of our King, Mashiach Yahushua. The Most High said, those people, I'm going to take care of them. But the knuckleheads, wishy-washy, half this, no. Negro over there, half baked, talking about I'm with y'all, exhaling smoke. No, you're out of here. The Most High has always provided comfort for those in times of affliction. Those of his people, I should say. Verse 12, and Joseph nourished his father and his brethren and all his father's household with bread according to their families. And there was no bread in all the land, for the famine was very sore, so that the land of Egypt and all the land of Canaan fainted by reason of famine. So when the economic hardships kick in, it's hard to get that food. You know, we've seen evidences of that when the C-19 thing was kicking in. When people was losing their jobs, stores was closing, remember all of the food lines? They were talking about the food banks was running out of food. People was in line waiting miles in cars to get a box of food. Remember that? Those was real times. That's coming back. Even worse. So Egypt had this particular event of famine, right? 7 years. They said that all the bread was gone. Famine was kicking in. People had nothing. It says, and Joseph gathered up all the money that was found in the land of Egypt and in the land of Canaan for the corn which they bought, and Joseph brought the money into Pharaoh's house. So all of the victuals that he had left over, Joseph said, hey, I got food. We got corn over here. Bring that money. So when people had their money, they used up all their money. They bought everything they could. Now they broke. Verse 15, and when money failed in the land of Egypt, meaning when everybody was broke, and the land of Canaan and all the Egyptians came to Joseph and said, give us bread, for why should we die in thy presence? For the money failed us. So they came begging the government. They came begging the ruling class, which in this situation was a righteous thing because Joseph was in power and he oppressed the nations, Egypt, Canaan. They had to come for support from him, right? He said, well, look, we're broke. Joseph, we can't starve, man. Help us. Joseph said, give your cattle. I'll give you for your cattle if money fail. And they brought their cattle unto Joseph, and Joseph gave them bread in exchange for horses and for the flocks and for the cattle of the herds and for the asses. And he fed them with bread for all their cattle for the year. So as y'all should know, if you haven't, go back, read the story and read the history. But as things continued on, they went broke with the money. Then they ended up having to exchange and give up their livestock for food and victuals, right? When that was given up, they ended up giving up their land. When they couldn't do that, they gave up themselves as slaves and servants. Same thing's going to go down in this place. People is going to run out, get complete destitute, waiting on and going down into Egypt looking for help. The elect of the Lord is going to be taken care of for the most part. May not be, feasting every minute, but we'll have substance to eat and drink. The Most High told us that, and I believe it's Isaiah 63. Uh, 65, Slacky. Let's read 65 and we'll read 12 down. It says, therefore will I number you to the sword, and ye shall all bow down to the slaughter, because when I called, ye did not answer. See, the rebellious 2/3 hard-headed, stiff-necked Israel, man, that didn't want to answer the call. Remember, even Christ in Matthew the 10th chapter, John 10, he said, my servants hear my voice. And they that hear my voice follow after me. Those who's tuning into the live, man, and woke up to your nationality and recognize where your ethnicity, your nationality, we know by the Bible, we deal with nations. But those of us who answered that call, we're following the Lamb. Plenty of our people out there, you hear it, you know, brothers and sisters, man, walk by, brothers out there on the streets, man, every day in droves, completely ignore, blow off, act like, you know, brothers is crazy, we ain't got to listen to them, whatever. And you don't answer? Okay, Most High said they're going to be numbered to the sword. When I spake, you did not hear, but did evil before mine eyes, and did choose that wherein I delighted not. Therefore, thus saith the Most High Yahweh, behold, my servants shall eat, but ye shall be hungry. Behold, my servants shall drink, but ye shall be thirsty. Behold, my servants shall rejoice, but ye shall be ashamed. So we'll be rejoicing. We'll still be able to be keeping the feast days. You know, I made mention regarding when the C-19 thing hit out, and there was social distancing and shutting down churches and everything else. I'm speaking at least for me and mine, we still was keeping the Passover. We still had access to everything. When Tabernacles was kicking in, they were shutting down all of the parks and all the campsites. We still was able to find, through the grace and mercies of the Most High, we were still able to go out and find a campsite where we was able to still go and keep the holy days of the Most High. So we were still rejoicing at the time when the whole earth was under mourning and running scared, masked up and social distance and 6 feet and sick in the hospital on ventilators and, you know, begging for something to get poked in their arm so they can get back to normal. You dig what I'm saying? Like, we see how the Most High really operates. And just because he said we're going to eat, that don't mean you're going to have a full plate of food, table of food every day either. While the average family, you know, when all hell breaks loose and the family kicking, there may be average family, average people, man, that ain't eating 4 or 5 days. But you was able to eat 2 days out of them 5 to get you through another week, or 3 days or 4 days. You know, who knows how the Most High supplies it. So don't be expecting, oh, we gonna have a bountiful. That don't necessarily mean the Most High said that basically we're going to be able to be taken care of to sustain our bodies and our flesh. It don't mean you're going to have turkey and hamburgers and whatever your choice, and pizza and everything. No, but you'll have enough to continue on in surviving in hard times. The water, the victuals, you know, whatever the case, you'll have that. The rest, problems, right? So let's continue on. So we see what's happening here. Already we see the downfall economically of America. We're seeing what happened militarily. They got manpower shortages, money shortages. You got $35 trillion in debt. There is no escape plan. I don't give a damn what Agent Orange is talking about. Oh, it's going to be very quick, very quickly. I'm going to bring back jobs very quickly. I'm going to end all the war. Everything is very quickly. You know he's lying. This is not a problem that you can fix in 4 years, and you damn sure ain't going to do it by the time you get in office on January 20th. He back lying, you know, slithering his tongue out, lying like an MF or two. We know the Harris campaign can't do nothing. You just seen the head of their finance department saying he don't know what's going on. He don't know. He don't understand finances at all. She can't even find a damn bag of Doritos in the store. But she gonna tell you, I got the economic plan to save everybody. All the households is gonna be saved. Everybody's gonna be good, man. Retirement funds are gonna be kicked back in. You don't worry about your pensions, your 401ks, everything's solid. Oh, the market's gonna be booming. Yeah, invest in the market. Everything's great. You know, Trump running. Oh yeah, I'm gonna make Bitcoin, you know, legal tender, and everything's gonna be great. I love Bitcoin. What's that do? All the Bitcoin enthusiasts and crypto guys, like, yeah. Oh, but did you forget about the digital ID, the digital economy, you know, digital monetization of the money and getting rid of cash? Did you ever think about that being part of the plan? No, you didn't. So let's see how things are progressing. Cisco slashes thousands of workers as it announces a yearly profit of $10 billion. This is a network, a communications company, one of the biggest in the country, and they profited $10 billion and they're still laying off thousands. How can you make $10.3 billion and you still laying off people? Cisco Systems is laying off 7% of its workforce, the company announced in a filing with the Securities and Exchange Commission on Wednesday. It's the San Jose tech giant's second time slashing thousands of jobs this year. We're not talking 20, 30 people, 100 people. Thousands of people getting laid off from this one particular company alone. Where are they going? What job is waiting for them after we just found out they lied about there's jobs available? How are we paying for these enormous, inflated grocery bills, the inflated Wi-Fi bills, internet bills? I don't know who still got cable, but cable bills, who's paying for the gas? These car notes, all these jakes ran out here, man, and got the little stimulus and PPP money and all that, and bought new trucks and luxury vehicles and paying, car notes of $700 to $800 a month plus insurance. You're paying over $1,200 a month just to drive a damn car. And we seen as of last year, repos was up. All them people, they taking them cars back. They got the electric cars, man. The AI is already programmed in there, man. They gonna drive them damn cars back to the lot. They ain't even got to send out the repo, man. The self-driving car kick in and take the car away. You can wake up in the morning thinking you finna jump in the car and go somewhere. Your car is gone. You report it stolen. They say, no, nigga, you ain't paid the damn bill in 3 months. What you mean stolen? Went back to the bank, Jack. You out of here. And so is your car. Thousands of people now in just one company, man, hitting the unemployment line. And it's not like there's a gang of jobs out there waiting for you. So what are people doing? Oh, I'm just going to go apply for another credit card with 28% interest. I'm going to rob Peter to pay Paul. I'm going to use my Visa to pay off a MasterCard to pay off my light bill. You dig what I'm saying? Like, that's going on. People are getting these HELOCs, getting credit lines on their what I want to call it, appreciation of the home. But if you got some money in your house, you can get a HELOC, which basically is like a credit line based upon the value that your home is worth. People is cashing in on that. Basically, everybody is living in debt, trying to figure out how to get by, man. Now you telling people we're taking your job from you too, and then people are sitting back saying, I can't wait till I can vote because Kamala says she's going to get me back on my feet again and my household back. Oh, Trump said he's going to bring back businesses here. What did we just see? That's impossible. It's not happening. They can't do it. There ain't a policy that you can make. There ain't enough money you can print. And they just got through saying they're getting ready to do some rate cuts with the Federal Reserve, which means that inflation and all that is about to continue on for even longer. Let's continue. The network and telecommunications company is vast, reporting to have 84,900 employees in July of 2023 before it chopped at least 4,000 in February. That means a new 7,000 cut will likely affect at least 5,500 workers. So can you imagine almost 10,000, let's just call it what it is, 9,500 workers from this one company in San Jose. And San Jose is not a big city by any stretch. 9,500 people laid off just within the last, July to right now. So that's a year and a month. That's just from one spot. Cisco spokesperson Robin Bloom said in an email SF Gate that the layoff is meant to allow the company to invest in, quote, key growth opportunities and drive more efficiency in our business. So the rich get continually richer. 10.3 billion. That means they probably got some AI taking over some of these particular positions. See, that's what they're defining as efficiency. Cutting costs through layoffs, shutting down plants, you know, utilizing tech to take over. This is what they're doing. Let's move on. Fed confronts up to 1 million U.S. jobs vanishing in a revision. U.S. job growth in the year through March was likely far less robust. We talked about that already. Goldman Sachs and Wells Fargo economists expect the government's preliminary benchmark revisions on Wednesday to show payrolls growth in the year through March was at least 600,000 weaker than currently estimated, about 50,000 a month. So here they go, getting caught, lying, and now they're trying to figure out how we're going to clean this thing up. GM lays off more than 1,000 salary software and service employees. So General Motors, they're laying off 1,000 people. Ford ditches a new EV plan that could cost $1.9 billion amid plummeting demand for electric cars. Ford invested. One of the brothers, he moved down to Tennessee. We on the outskirts of Tennessee, but he was telling me about this about a couple years ago. And he was like, man, Ford is building a new plant down there, and they making this whole, like, I think they call it the Blue City or Blue something. And it was, a whole industrial revolution regarding the electric vehicle craze. They were supposed to be building electric trucks down there and everything. And now they had to scrap it. At least the building of the electric car. They said they're still going to be making the batteries and other stuff like that, but they're shutting part of that operation down. It was supposed to kick in starting next year in 2025. They already had to let that go. $1.9 billion loss because ain't nobody driving them electric cars, can afford electric cars, let alone the turnaround reviews on these electric cars. People ain't liking them. So Ford, GM, all having problems. Northrop Grumman announces another round of South Bay layoffs. Northrop Grumman is a government contracted company. They've been doing layoffs. I know personally somebody over there, he got laid off. And they was able to, find him another position within the company, but they doubled him back again. 550 jobs in Redondo Beach and Manhattan Beach. Aerospace facilities after laying off several hundred employees earlier this year. That was when he got hit up earlier. But he found another job within the company. They lay you off and then they say, well, we got other openings in the company you can apply for. And all praise to the Most High, he was able to get one. But some other people, man, they ain't as fortunate. So there's another layoff. More than 28% of Americans are searching for new jobs, the highest rate in a decade. But I thought everything was great. Everybody's working. There's plenty of jobs out there. There's no inflation. Money, your dollars is matching the cost of living. I can't tell. 28% of Americans are searching for new jobs. There's almost 30% of people out there saying, this ain't cutting it. I need a new. It ain't because they ain't happy with what's going on and they just don't like their job. No, they're trying to figure out how can I make it to survive. This is getting bad. Is there a new job out there? Let me go back to school. Let me let me up my credentials. Let me get my resume back on point. So what? You go to school, you get another damn loan to take some courses, to add another certificate, to hopefully qualify for a job that may not be there or probably going to lay you off in a year because AI is going to take it. I mean, it's bad news out there right now. People's fears of losing their jobs are at the highest point in the New York Fed survey's 10-year history, even as the unemployment rate remains low. See, they lie out there and talk about unemployment is low. And we're seeing massive layoffs all over the place, man. This is ridiculous. People running around looking for jobs and looking to change jobs and looking for better jobs and looking for more money. That ain't there. Switzerland is moving towards cashless future with instant payments. So we've been talking about this. Europe is leading the charge when it comes down to this digital economy, cashless society. All the prophecies are being understood and fulfilled, right? Switzerland's new instant payment system will bolster the future of cashless payments in the country. The Swiss central bank said Wednesday after the scheme went live. Notice the word use, scheme. Did you catch that? The Swiss National Bank said around 60 financial institutions were now able to receive and process instant payments, covering more than 95% of Swiss retail payment transactions following Tuesday's market launch. Look, one of the brothers showed me Costco now is doing facial recognition to get in. Why? What else we see here? I was at Whole Foods the other day and I had kind of forgot, but I was at the self-checkout and they had the damn palm reader for your payment right next to the choice of payment. And I was like, oh snap, there you go. I forgot that they even did it because I ain't been to Whole Foods in a hot minute. Or at least I've been there, but I don't think they have it at the regular registers. At the self-checkout is where they got the pay with your palm situation. But this is all where it's leading to, right? So it's 95% of the Swiss retail payments are already lined up with this. So Switzerland is, they're getting ready to go cashless. By the end of 2026, at the latest, all financial institutions active in retail payment transactions will be reachable. So by 2026, they said at the latest, all their financial institutions are going to be active with cashless payments. Instant payments allow private individuals and companies to perform account-to-account transactions with immediate execution and final settlement in seconds. Isn't that great? So when America pushes the Fed now, this is going to be acceptable payments. This is where your universal basic income is going to come through. This is where your stimulus, whatever, they decided they're going to call it. It's how you're going to get your money. It's just like they weaned us up off of paper checks and got everybody into direct deposit, forced everybody into one particular rabbit hole. This is the same way they're going to do it. Just a matter of time. Let's move on. See this? This is this is what happens with Israel. See, the days of when Negroes run around with the money phones and showing off all the cash and everything else. You see this other picture over here? This is Venezuelan money compared to $1. You see this big old stack of money? It's worth $1. You understand? This is where America is headed. See, Jake run around here thinking, oh yeah, I got money in the bank. I'm straight. But that money ain't gonna be worth what you think when it's all said and done. Ezekiel 7:19. Now this was a judgment of Israel for their wickedness in Babylon, and this is how we end up being judged and so forth and so on. And the same principle still applies. They were into idol worshiping, silver and gold, and so forth and so on. Well, now what's the gods of the people? Same thing, monetary currency. Look, Ezekiel 7:19 says, they shall cast their silver in the streets, and their gold shall be removed. Their silver and their gold shall not be able to deliver them in the day of the wrath of Yahweh. They shall not satisfy their souls, neither fill their bowels, because it is a stumbling block of their iniquity. See, when money becomes the god of the people, man, when they think this is going to, satisfy everything, What happens when the money ain't worth nothing? What happens when they say, oh, all that paper, oh, it's all digitized now. It needs to be put into a billing ledger, entered in by computer key code, monitored by a blockchain and AI and everything else. All that money everybody holding on to, you might as well burn it in the streets. Look at Venezuela. This is really what's going on. So the gig is up, man. Jakes, this is what happens when our people don't pay attention. They ain't watching. They thinking it's gonna save them. That's out of here, man. The scriptures even tell us that in I believe it's in Isaiah 50. I want to say it's 52. Let me see, 52. Nah. Is it Isaiah? Why am I losing that? Damn. Did I pass it up? I did look at Isaiah 52. I'm tripping. Oh, I did. Isaiah 52 and 3. For thus saith Yahweh, ye have sold yourselves for naught, and ye shall be redeemed without money. East Cash Man, 50 Cent, Floyd, favorite rappers and singers and entertainers, and they've sold themselves for nothing. They've sold their souls. They Snoop Dogg all sold themselves for nothing, because in the end, all that money ain't gonna be worth nothing, man. This ain't what's gonna save us at all, as we should know that, right? See, as we're looking at all these layoffs, everything else, right? Job replacement is right here. Uber to begin offering self-driving cruise cars as shares fall. Now the side hustle gig economy of people Ubering now is getting ready to be impacted by self-driving cars. So there's not going to be an open market for everybody to utilize your own cars and run out there and go Uber to make a couple extra dollars. Uber is already trying to get a self-driving fleet of cars so that that door will be closed. Remember a couple of years ago they were trying to unionize the gig economy because they was what was it? Governor Gruesome and them was taxing and leaning on them heavy. Everybody was right, doing Uber and doing Lyft and everything else. And they was feeling like, they need to establish a union because they weren't being looked at as a legitimate job. Well, don't worry. Uber saying, hey, we're going to go ahead on and get the self-driving cars into use. And I seen the article, it was funny. Up in San Francisco, they got all of these self-driving cars and everything. And they said people were complaining because the self-driving cars are just like in the streets honking all the time. You see this? And their answer is give them more. San Francisco residents fed up with self-driving cars that won't stop honking at each other. Look at this. Waymo. And all they doing is riding by, man, beeping at each other, damn near crashing. And Uber saying that's the way to go, So imagine this is what's happening, and this is what's headed down the pipeline. Let alone, I haven't done deep research into it yet, but we're seeing and hearing about this bill proposal in California where they're going to be giving undocumented folks what is it? Interest-free not interest free, basically home loans with no payments. Yeah, I only want to misquote it. Let me see. I don't know. Let me look at this one first. California debates bill to allow home loans for undocumented immigrants. Opponents of the bill say that expanding the program to include illegal immigrants would place more financial burden onto law-abiding taxpayers. I mean, if you want to talk about really kicking off intertribal warfare, uh, Ephraim vexing Judah and so forth and so on. I mean, this is how they're gonna do it. When so-called white man specializes in dividing and conquering, what better way than to say, here, you come over here, and we're going to give you free everything from healthcare, home loans, so forth and so on. If you're here illegally, even better. But meanwhile, for the Black and Hispanic who's over here, man, laboring, fell on hard times, homeless now, oh, you're getting fined, you're getting arrested, you're getting removed up off of the streets, kicked up out of every little tent community that you had, you're gone, and we ain't giving you jack squat. Who you think they're gonna turn on? They definitely can't turn on the government. They're gonna turn on each other. They already had over in Colorado. They said that a 99 unit complex got shut down because they said some Venezuelan gangs took over. They had to evict everybody over there in Aurora. Now they're saying that this isn't what happened, but I don't know what's going on over there. But they're blaming Venezuelan gangs coming in, extorting and jacking people up. Aurora booted hundreds from an apartment building. We followed one mother of three as she figured out what to do next. And they were saying, oh, the city of Aurora, they were paying for, the hotels and people. That ain't forever. After just 6 days' notice before the entire building was evicted, Aurora police arrived at 7 a.m. to tell people to leave or be arrested. See, they're getting booted out. But hey, California, move to California. You might be able to get you a free house. I don't know, but they basically were saying, man, the place was ran down, man. Venezuelan gangs took over. The place was uninhabitable, and the owner was like, everybody get out. But it was 99 units, people living in there, man, now homeless, basically. And they're saying that the city paid for some hotel vouchers or whatnot, man, but that ain't self-sustainable. They're not gonna pay that forever. That's where we're at, right? Fox's Karl Rove warns GOP he's never seen anything like the Democratic reaction to Kamala Harris falling in love and in line. Notice he said and in line. So Karl Rove, former politician, I guess he's a mouthpiece for Fox, right? He's saying he's never seen anything like this. The reaction that people are having to Hyena Harris, and people are just falling in love and falling in line with her. I'm saying the same thing. I've never seen nothing like this before either. And it's just so blatant and obvious that it's a lot of spin, a lot of lies, a lot of propaganda, media coverage. And I'm like, they really thinking they pulling this off. And it's just so obvious. But they figure that we're so dumb, you won't catch on. Just join the emotional, rave and roller coaster. I've never seen it. This is from. Remember, I showed y'all the statistics back in 19 when she was trying to run for president, or no, was it 2019? Because that's when Slow Biden elected her as a VP when he won. She was slumping in the polls, man. Nobody was messing with her. Slow Biden did a little political move, pulled her in, and that's how she made got up in this position that she's in. But as of right now, as far as like a Democratic president elect, she ain't had one vote. She wasn't on the ticket. No economic policy is being discussed. All we've seen is a lot of laughing and cackling, man, and they acting like she's the second coming. Where and how this is happening, it's amazing what the media can do, headlines can do, crowdsourcing and paying for crowds and everything else can, put a perception out there. It's pretty wild. I ain't never seen nothing like this before, but I'm sitting back and enjoying the show and being able to talk about it. Moving on. Thailand detects its first suspected case of the dangerous Mpox strain from a European traveler. So there you go. All it takes is one little traveler. Now they're in Thailand. He's probably over there looking for a boy girl. You know, them Europeans over there, they go over there looking for the Transformers. Thailand. And, he probably went over there thinking he was about to get him some, and he got something else. But that's still on the table as a quote-unquote threat. Moving on. Oil giant Halliburton reportedly hit by a cyber attack, disrupting Houston operations. So, par for the course. We talked about the cyber attacks, the cyber polygon. Again, last week, we keep seeing all these cyber attacks happening. We're just waiting for something even bigger to really impact, whether it's this election, whether it kicks off the war, what's known as the quote Black Swan event. We're just waiting to see. So cyber attack got hit. The Halliburton oil giant, they supply oil to much of the Houston area and in the states. Halliburton oil. The world's second largest oil service provider. Did you hear that? The world's second largest oil. And if y'all remember, when I did my class about America is the fatness of the earth, and we talked about oil producing companies. America rivals Ishmael and the Arabs over there in the Middle East. America is the second biggest producer of oil, gold, etc. Or I think they're number one in gold, matter of fact. But they're too busy over there, rape, pillaging, and colonizing, Africa and South America, various islands for their resources. They just talked about, remember, some of the brothers in Jamaica, they sent a video talking about how gold and oil has now been found in Jamaica. And they've been having a number of different small little quakes because they're down there fracking, getting the oil down there. So, America has an insatiable appetite, man, for power, for resources, and they'll go drain it out anywhere, man. The parasites. So they down there in Jamaica, man, down there tearing up Jamaica, trying to get to the oil down there. But for anyone who, did not know or was clueless to America's power in the oil, America got oil. America got the power. But what they do is they sit back and hoard it, and then they get other countries to use their oil so that they can fund their allies. Rather than giving their own, they say, well, we'll use everybody else. We'll use Ukraine. We can use, Russia, wherever, to make sure that oil is getting sent over and power is getting sent over to our allies. But America's got oil, man. That's not the problem. You see here, Halliburton Company, the world's second largest oil service provider and a major player in the global fracking, has reportedly fallen victim to a cyber attack, according to sources speaking with Reuters. Insiders revealed that the cyber incident had disrupted operations at the company's Houston headquarters and affected some of its global networks. This is big because look, that oil produces power, produces gas. This is how they planes is moving, trucks is moving, cars is moving, lights is getting turned on. Your stove getting turned on, your heater. As we're leading into the winter time. So for them to have an attack like that, that's pretty big, you know. I remember speaking on this, give or take, 12, 15 years ago. And there's a Harvard study that is where I got hip to it from in an article that said Harvard did a study regarding fluoride and its dangers to IQ levels, and that's no pun on the name, but fluoride in the water, deliberately in there, lowering the IQs among children. Now you got government-backed reports who saying this is true. This is why, when people talk about drinking filtered water and don't drink water from the tap, and y'all done heard me talk about that for a long time, about them putting sterilants in the water, putting in birth control sterilants, man, hormones, drugs in the water, all kind of stuff. And only through prayer and whatever, our disciplined faith in the Lord that we even trust was in the bottles. There's only a few that you can really tell. You can taste the difference, but blindfold on, you drink a few things of water. Most of them you probably gonna say, yeah, it tastes like water, tastes like water, tastes like water. Oh, this one tastes a little cleaner than another one, but for the most part, it's not really distinguishable. But look at this. 2016, NTP started a systematic review of scientific literature to ascertain links between fluoride and cognition. On August 21st, it published a report detailing its findings. A total of 72 studies reviewed in the report examined how fluoride exposure affected children's IQ. 64 of these studies found an inverse association between estimated fluoride exposure and IQ in children, meaning higher exposure was linked to lower IQ and vice versa. So if you're wondering why and how, society seems to be getting more dumbed down and the children seem to be more, out of it and just don't have the wherewithal and the wisdom that you used to have. I'm sure all of y'all have been able to sit back and say, man, my day, man, I wasn't doing that. I wasn't thinking about that. I wasn't moving like that. I was way more sharper. I was way more than some of these kids nowadays. It's because they're getting, they're deliberately getting dumbed down. If you can dumb down the population, man, it's easier to control them, right? So generationally, this is why they targeted. Remember, look, with the pandemic of 2019, 2020, remember it started off with, this is don't worry unless you're elderly, obese, or you got pre-existing conditions. You'll be okay. Then they started lowering the bar. Oh, if you're from 25 to 55, yeah, you're at risk. You be careful. Then they lowered it. They said, oh, if you're 15 to 11, teenagers, yeah, you're gonna get all the way down to 6 months. Oh, you're gonna need to get poked in the arm. Oh, and next thing you know, now they've got studies out saying that most of the issues that's going on with heart attacks, strokes, blood clots, so forth and so on, is amongst teens and amongst the youth, were people that got treated for the pandemic. You know what I'm talking about? So when they attack this generation, man, it's purposefully. So when you got a generation that's got lower understanding capabilities, then you're going to say, well, the people in authority, I'll have to make the decisions for you. I'll tell you what to do. Hey, don't worry about it. Just rely on an emoji. Just rely on, even when it comes down to, and we're all victims of it. typing, spelling, everything is turned into, tech language where, it's LOL, SMH, whatever, all of these acronyms. We can't spell no more. We're waiting on, spell check to come from, AI and from the phones to tell us what's right or wrong. We don't know how to get anywhere anymore. We can't remember a phone number or address anymore. We're all victims of it. Back in the day, man, you had to remember people's phone numbers. You had to know your way around landmarks, addresses, streets. If you was gonna get somewhere, reading a Thomas Guide. Some of y'all saying, "What is that?" This is all deliberate, right? But it's just further proof and showing. I don't know if anybody's seen that movie Idiocracy, where it's if you haven't seen it, it's interesting. It's a comedy, but it's a reality-based comedy. I think the year was 2005 or something like that. They got this dude who was in the military. He was pretty much the slowest and the dumbest in the military. They used him for an experiment of freezing him for the future because they wanted to see if they could save their best soldiers for the future in the case of war jumped off or whatever. So they was like, we'll save the best soldiers so that war pops out, we can expose, have our biggest soldiers out there. So they cryogenically freeze this dude. Mishap happens. He ends up waking up. It's 2,500 something. I mean, the whole world is dumb as a box of rocks, man. They said there's a whole new language that they speak, and if you speaking right or speaking proper, man, something's wrong with you. They on your head. People are watching TV. One dude, man, he's doing nothing but eating snacks, trash all over the place. Yeah, exactly. Terry Crews. I was getting ready to say Debo, but no. Terry Crews, he's the president. Of course, is the damn dumbed down Negro who's leading the charge in all of the folly. One dude sitting in the chair comes equipped with a toilet. All you gotta do is sit and eat and watch these goofy jackass type TV shows. You don't have to get it's wild. I don't want to go any further on it, but Idiocracy, and it basically show you, man, the future is going to be dumbed down, and the dumbest person in today's society will be considered like a genius. Idiocracy, UZL, it's on. You know what, Jason? You might be right, man. I think I did see people wearing Crocs in that movie. You might be right on that. Exactly, Bayan. That's the point. It's happening right now. Truth is stranger than fiction, man. Yeah, Kohab. Some of y'all seen it. Idiocracy, I believe it's on. Hold on. Let me help y'all out. So here you go. If you got Hulu, if you got a subscription, it's there. Obviously Google Play, all that other stuff. I saw it on. I think it's on Disney Plus too. I think Hulu and Disney Plus, I think they linked up together. But I guess everywhere else you got to pay for it. I mean, you got to pay for it either way if you got the subscription. But yeah, this is it right here. And this woman, man, she's a harlot. They send her out there. I mean, it's a comedy, but you know how they say people joke and jest, and it's reality. It's reality based, right? But yeah, check it out. Check it out. But that's exactly what they're doing. dumbing down to create idiocracy so they can rule over. One last thing before we slide. Purdue chicken got a recall. 165,000 pounds of Purdue chicken was recalled for metal contamination. Don't worry, if you escape the fluoride, man, they got the metal in the chicken waiting for you too. All right, I don't know who purchases Purdue chicken or where it's based out of. I don't think I've ever really seen Purdue chicken in California. They might service more in the South and the Midwest or something like that. If it is out here, I'm not familiar with it. But nonetheless, if you do have it, you might want to, take it back or don't eat it. They got a recall, 165,000 pounds because metals was in it. Look at this. Now, this is more foolishness. Face of Jesus, because that ain't Yahweh shot. Unveiled by AI using a shroud of Turin after astonishing discovery. So, they're out here saying that there's some scientists that have found the shroud of Turin. If you know what that is, they're saying that it's a cloth that was wrapped, that they wrapped Yahweh Shai in when he was put in the sepulcher and he was put to death and this, that, and the third, and they found it and it still had his imprint of his face on it. Now, this is all Catholic, Edomite lies nonetheless, but here they go. They used any other time, if it was real, like historical archaeology that was, utilized, that would be something we can invest in to help furtherly prove the Bible. This ain't one of them. So they're saying they took the shroud and utilized AI to make a digital image of what Christ would look like. Once the lie gets told out there, man, they have to continue on, man. They got to go all out. So now they're trying to say that this is proof that the Shroud of Turin dates back to the time of Christ, and AI has now helped create the image of what he looked like based upon this shroud being historical evidence of what he would look like. And they're calling this, quote, the true face of Jesus. That's the truth, huh? We know. Let's look at Revelation 12 real quick. And I think I want 12 and 15, right? And it says, and the serpent cast out of his mouth water as a flood after the woman. The woman is Israel. The serpent is Satan in the physical form of the extended Roman Empire, America, the so-called white man, you name it, right? The serpent cast out of his mouth water as a flood after the woman, that he might cause her to be carried away of the flood. The flood is lies, right? So in like manner, we just got the reading about Revelation 12 and verse 9, that what comes out of the dragon is deception to deceive the whole world. He's going to utilize those lies to carry away the woman. The woman is Israel, according to Jeremiah 6 and 2. Carried away with lies, right? Now, let me give one more precept to show that in Isaiah 28. And we'll read verse 17. It says, judgment also will I lay to the line and righteousness to the plummet, and the hail shall sweep away the refuge of lies, and the water shall overflow the hiding place. So this is what they're talking about, is the refuge of lies. That's what the waters represent. The sweeping lies that overflood, overcome, drowned out the truth. That was the objective of Satan, the devil, who the so-called white man bowed down to worship and was given that power. So he's the one that's going out here propagating lies and drowning our people out. So you know how many of our people sitting back saying, I knew it. Oh my God. Jesus Cristo. Oh. And believing that this is really justifying them having these particular tattoos on them, bowing down to these statues and idols and necklaces and candles and everything going on in the cathedrals and churches. they're going to trust in AI and to believing that this is the truth. Forget what these Hebrew Israelites are talking about. No, AI told us what the real is, because the scientists said that this is the proof that the Shroud of Turin was real. They even use AI to reconfigure the image of what the shroud looked like, the imprint of the face. They don't stop, man. They do not stop. And in the words of Joseph Goebbels, the propaganda minister of the bad guys of World War II, we'll just call them that. If you tell a lie big enough and keep repeating it, people will eventually come to believe it. Ain't that the truth? You know, they say that a truth goes around the world before, a lie goes around the world before the truth gets out of bed. And that's a fact. People love the lie because a lie is more entertaining instead of investigating the truth, instead of finding out what's the real. That's why Yahweh told us, ye shall know the truth, and the truth shall make you free. Some of our people don't want to be free, man. They rather believe the lie because the lie is more entertaining. The lie is more popular to believe, right? But it says if you tell a lie big enough and you keep saying it over and over again, people will eventually believe it. People are programmed to believe by repetition. That's a good way of learning, no question about it. Repetition is one of the best ways of learning, but at the same time, it can be detrimental because if it's a lie and it constantly gets told over and over again, then it just becomes the truth. But always know that the real truth is hidden beneath the mountain of lies. That's another one in the books. All praise, honor, and glory to the Most High, Whyte. Diz the Wiz and Karatas, I did get y'all. I did get your response in your email, man. Most High willing, if y'all can make it, it'd be all good. And good to see y'all again. But I know I didn't respond to the email, but I just wanted to let you know I did get it. I got your response. But yeah. Outside of that, that's gonna be it, man. I'm gonna get on out of here and move on to the next juncture. We'll have our closing Shabbat class, man, 4 o'clock as usual, man, MOTC. I want to give all praise, honor, and glory to the Most High, Yahweh, man. Hopefully everybody enjoys the rest of your Shabbat. And if you have not already, man, make sure you do as my beloved sister Catherine has done. Wipe your feet on your way out if you didn't on the way in. All right. Y'all be well. Always remember, fear the Most High, keep the commandments, don't shoot the messenger.